Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping right into the absolute real math behind pig farming. No fluff, no vanity metrics, just the cold, hard facts to make sure your agribusiness is actually standing on a truly solid financial foundation.
Look, it happens all the time in this industry, right? Farmers buy their pigs, they spend an absolute fortune on feed, drugs, and housing, and then they eventually sell them without ever really knowing if they made a profit or took a massive loss. Operating in the dark like that, it's a hugely dangerous way to run a business. But today, we're putting an end to the guesswork for good.
All right, here is a quick look at our roadmap. We're going to cover the profit illusion, tracking costs, true revenue, real profit math, common mistakes, and finally, growing your bottom line.
Starting off with Section 1, the profit illusion. Okay, before we dive into the heavy math, we've got to dismantle some of those glossy success stories you always see online. Look, true profit is literally just the money left over after removing every single expense from your total sales. Total revenue minus total expenses. It sounds incredibly simple, doesn't it? But the illusion of profitability sneaks in when farmers conveniently forget to include all their actual expenses in that second half of the equation.
Which brings us to Section 2, tracking every single cost.
Tracking every single penny you spend is the absolute undeniable foundation of your farm. If you're only looking at the price of feed and just completely ignoring the hidden costs, stuff like medication, your own labor, transportation, utility bills, or the initial cost of the piglets, you are literally setting yourself up for an invisible financial loss. You know, pigs don't just eat feed, they essentially eat electricity and fuel too. So let's look at a real-world scenario to make this concrete. Imagine you're buying 10 wiener pigs. Here is a literal itemized receipt for that exact farming cycle. The initial purchase is 700,000 naira, then a whopping 1 million for feed, 80K for meds, 150K for labor, 40K for utilities, 30K for transport, and let's say 50K for miscellaneous repairs. That right there, that is what a real comprehensive expense sheet actually looks like.
And when we painstakingly add all those categories together, our hypothetical farmer has already spent a massive 2,050,000 naira. And remember, this hefty cash outlay happens before you even take a single pig to market. This number right here is your true financial risk.
Moving on to Section 3, calculating your true revenue.
Now for the exciting part. Assuming all 10 of your pigs reach their target market weight without any major hiccups and you sell them for 320,000 naira apiece, you just generated a massive top-line revenue of 3.2 million naira. Wow, it looks like a phenomenal payday. But hold on, we aren't done yet.
Section 4, the real profit math. Okay, we've got our comprehensive costs and we've got our top-line sales. Now it's time for the ultimate reveal. Let's put our 3.2 million in revenue head-to-head against our 2.05 million in expenses to really put the true scale of the business into perspective.
By subtracting those expenses, we reveal a super satisfying true profit of 1,150,000 naira. Now, if you divide that up among your 10 pigs, it perfectly scales down to exactly 115,000 naira of pure profit per individual pig. Before taxes and reinvestment, this is your actual undeniable take-home. And honestly, knowing this exact per pig number is a total superpower. It lets you easily compare different production cycles to see if you're actually improving over time.
And this breakdown brilliantly illustrates your profit margin. By dividing your profit by your total revenue and multiplying by 100, you get 35.9%. What does that actually mean for us? It means for every single naira that flows into your business, you get to keep almost 36 kobos as pure profit. In the agricultural sector, that is a fantastic, healthy return and a huge green light that your farm is operating efficiently.
Let's hit Section 5, common money-losing mistakes.
So even with the potential for those great margins, so many farmers are just unknowingly bleeding money. Failing to monitor your feed conversion, selling pigs too early, or just buying expensive feed without comparing prices, those things will quickly eat away your earnings. But most importantly, relying on your memory instead of hard-written records or getting hit by a biosecurity breach can literally turn that beautiful 35.9% margin right into a devastating negative number. I absolutely love this quote from our source material because it really is the defining motto of every successful agribusiness. What gets measured gets improved. It's so true. If you don't write it down, you can't track it. And if you can't track it, there is absolutely no way you can optimize it. It really is that simple.
Wrapping up with Section 6, growing your bottom line. So what exactly can you do differently to optimize your next cycle? Well, producing your own feed where possible and actively reducing feed waste will instantly slash your biggest expense. Also, maintaining ultra-strict hygiene and sticking to your vaccination schedules protects your entire investment. The major takeaway here is that improving your internal management practices is almost always far more profitable than just blindly throwing more pigs into the pen. Remember, efficiency scales up wonderfully. Inefficiency just multiplies your losses.
So as you gear up for your next farming cycle, you really have a critical choice to make. Are you just gonna cross your fingers, buy the feed, and rely on pure guesswork to estimate your earnings? Or are you ready to embrace the math, track every single cost, and literally calculate your way to a truly sustainable enterprise? The numbers never lie, but it's entirely up to you to start tracking them.